Hi everybody, we are discussing about the chemical properties of phenol. In last class we are discussing about the cold reaction. So in cold reaction first we have to take phenol. Then this phenol will react with sodium hydroxide solution. Then it will produce sodium phenoxide O minus Na plus H2. This sodium phenoxide will react with carbon dioxide at 400 Kelvin temperature and 4 to 7 atmospheric pressure. Then it will produce the carboxylic acid salt COO minus Na plus. Then we have to add acid. So acidic workup will produce the salicylic acid. Now what is the mechanism here? So this is phenoxide ion. This phenoxide ion is reacting with carbon dioxide gas, and we are getting CO minus and double bond plus Na plus. Then in next step this hydrogen, OH minus will take this hydrogen and it will go here. O minus Na plus and C double bond O minus Na plus. So final acidic workup will give us salicylic acid. Now we have already discussed this salicylic acid is very important compound. By using this salicylic acid we can prepare aspirin, we can prepare Stolol and also methyl salicylate, that is oil of wintergreen. Next we will discuss a very important reaction that is called Reimer-Tiemann reaction. In Reimer-Tiemann reaction, we have to take phenol. So Reimer-Tiemann reaction. Reimer-Tiemann reaction. In this reaction, we have to take phenol, and this phenol will react with chloroform. In alkaline medium, we have to take sodium hydroxide solution, aqueous. Now here the temperature we have to maintain around 340 Kelvin. Then we get a compound like this, OHCHO, that is called salicylate. And here also we get the para isomer, but para isomer is minor, so this one is the major product. Now what will be the mechanism of this reaction, that we have to understand. In first step, that chloroform will react with sodium hydroxide aqueous solution, that will abstract one proton from here, that means OH minus will take this proton and we will get CCl3 minus plus H2. Now in next step what will happen, that CCl3 minus will eliminate one chlorine. So finally we will get one very important compound. This compound is called dichlorocarbene. Dichlorocarbene. So in Reimann-Tiemann reaction, the intermediate compound is dichlorocarbene. Now this dichlorocarbene will react with phenoxide ion. So in next step, what will happen? That phenol, in presence of sodium hydroxide, it will form phenoxide, O minus Na plus H2O. This phenoxide ion will react with the dichlorocarbene at the ortho position. In dichlorocarbene, one orbital is filled up with electron and it is in singlet state, and the vacant orbital here it will atom. So from here we will get the corresponding product, double bond O, CCl2 minus. Now in next step, this will be protonated, or it will take one proton from water and we will get this compound. And there will be tautomerization to get the aromaticity back. ClClH. Now these compounds are not so much stable. Now what will happen? Next step, there will be reaction of OH minus. That OH minus will attack here and there will be formation of the unstable compound like this. OH, this is not stable, and here elimination of one water molecule will produce orthohydroxybenzylaldehyde, and that is called salicylaldehyde. So in this way we can prepare salicylaldehyde. And final stage, one workup is also required because we are using H plus, so here will be O minus and elimination of water will be there, as well as acidic workup is also required in the last step. That will give us the corresponding salicylaldehyde, corresponding product. So when we are using chloroform to the phenol and in presence of sodium hydroxide solution at the temperature 340, we are getting salicylaldehyde. But if we change chloroform and if we take carbon tetrachloride, then what will be the product? Let us see. If we take OH, then in place of chloroform we are taking carbon tetrachloride and NaOH aqueous solution, and temperature also same, around 340 Kelvin. So in this case what will happen? We get this product, the same mechanism, O minus Na plus and CCl. That is not so much stable. Okay. In the next step what will happen? We have to add that in medium there is OH minus. That OH minus will substitute and there will be formation of one compound that is called trihydroxy. O minus Na plus COH, OH, OH. We know that it is very much unstable and there will be elimination of water, and finally we will get the C double bond O minus, or we can write C double Na, or O minus Na plus. And in final step, if we do the acidic workup, then we will get the salicylic acid. This is salicylic acid. So these two reactions are very important. Here also we will get the ortho product as major. So whenever we are taking chloroform with phenol in presence of NaOH, we are getting salicylaldehyde. But if we change it, then we will get the if we change this chloroform by CCl4, okay, then we will get the corresponding acid, that is salicylic acid. Next we will discuss one important reaction, that is condensation reaction with phthalic anhydride. Condensation of phenol with phthalic anhydride. Now what is phthalic anhydride? Phthalic anhydride is prepared from phthalic acid. This one is phthalic acid. If we apply heat, then there will be elimination of water and formation of one anhydride, that is called phthalic anhydride. So this one is PH, THA, LiC anhydride. So this anhydride structure, this phthalic anhydride. Now this phthalic anhydride will react with phenol. In presence of concentrated sulfuric acid. Have to take concentrated sulfuric acid and have to apply heat. Then there will be elimination of water molecule minus H2, and we will get a compound that is called phenolphthalein. We know that phenolphthalein is a very good acid base indicator, and in acid solution it remains colorless, but in base solution it will become pink or violet. Next we will discuss the oxidation reaction of phenol. We have already discussed that in case of phenol there is aerial oxidation, okay, but if we use oxidizing agent like K2Cr2O7 and sulfuric acid, we will get parabenzoquinone. And next we will discuss the reduction reaction. What will happen if we add nickel hydrogen to phenol? And here the amount of heat we have to use near about 530 Kelvin. So here 3 mole hydrogen will react and the aromaticity is lost, and we will get the cyclohexanol. So this is the reduction reaction of phenol compound, okay. Next we will discuss one very important identification test of phenol, that is called coupling reaction or azotite test. Coupling reaction or azotite test, that is also called back dye test. So here we have to take first aniline. Aniline we have to add NNO2 dilates here. Then we get loctane benzene dialuminum chloride. Now with this benzene dialuminum chloride we have to use phenol. If we add phenol, then what will happen? there will be coupling reaction, and here we have to use sodium hydroxide. Okay, that means in alkaline condition, and temperature we have to maintain 0 to 5 degrees centigrade because this benzene diazonium chloride is not so much stable. So then there will be coupling reaction and we will get one orange dye. And we will get the color of the dye is orange dye. So by this reaction we can easily identify phenol, and another test we have already discussed, that is ferric chloride test. Phenols react with neutral ferric chloride solution to produce different types color, that depends on the structure of the phenol. Generally phenol will give violet or green coloration. Next we will discuss the one very important identification test, that is called Lieberman test. When phenol is heated with sodium nitrite and concentrated sulfuric acid, then a green or blue color develops, and the mixture turns red when diluted with water. When excess sodium hydroxide solution is added to that solution, the red color changes to blue or green. Alcohols do not respond this test. So this is also called Lieberman test. By Lieberman test also we can identify phenol chemically. So here what is happening, phenol is fast reacting with nitrous acid. HNO2. So definitely it will produce para-nitrosophenol, that we have already discussed. Now with this para-nitrosophenol, phenol will react in acidic condition, means H2SO4 again. Then there will be formation of indophenol type of compound, indophenol. Double bond O, then there is formation of double bond N. The name of this compound is indophenol. Now, if we add sodium hydroxide, then it will abstract this proton and forming the salt of indophenol. So this salt of indophenol, its color will be blue. So from this blue coloration, we can easily identify the phenol. So all the chemical properties of phenol discussion is complete. Now we will discuss the use of phenol. Phenol is used to prepare polymer like bakelite. All of you know that phenol formaldehyde resin. So phenol is reacting with formaldehyde forming bakelite. It's a very important polymer, and phenol is used in the preparation of different types of drugs. We have already shown to you that from phenol we can prepare salicylic acid, and from salicylic acid we can prepare aspirin, that is an analgesic, Salol. These are very important drugs. This phenol can be used for the preparation of a very important indicator, that is phenolphthalein, and phenol has some germicidal property. That is why it is used in soaps, lotions, and in germicidal liquids. And this phenol also can be used for preservation of wood. In our home also we are using phenol, and its common name is carbolic acid, to remove snake, okay, or to remove any insect from our house because of its special type of characteristic odor, that is called carbolic odor or phenolic odor. So hope you can understand. In this way we have completed this phenol part, and in my next class I will start the last part of this chapter, that is ether. So today up to this, Thank you. Please stay at home and stay safe.